welcome to Chuck's Diecast Car and Model Reviews. Today we are taking a look at the Lamborghini Gallardo Superleggera as made by Maisto. This is a good model and I'm pretty impressed with it. And of course we'll get into that in a little bit once I talk about the Gallardo itself. First of all, the Gallardo is the model of Lamborghini of which they made the most models of. They made about 14,000 of them, I believe, over a span of about 10 years. This is the first Lamborghini built with a V10. It had a 5-liter V10 with about 500 horsepower at the start, and then over the years power was increased to about 570 horsepower. The Gallardo itself is actually the second new model of Lamborghini made after the purchase of Lamborghini by Audi, and therefore it is a four-wheel drive vehicles, which is makes it very interesting, and also, of course, puts that power down to the road a little bit better than a two-wheel drive car, making this, of course, exceedingly quick along with that 500 horsepower. Now, there were several models of the Gallardo made. You know, there was the base model of Gallardo, which had about 500 horsepower. Then they came out with the Gallardo Superleggera, which of course this is here. Power was increased to about 520 horsepower. They actually reduced the weight of the car as well by putting in a carbon fiber deck lid, carbon fiber mirrors, and various other carbon fiber bits, you know, lightweight seats and all that sort of stuff. And also the Superleggera also had this carbon fiber wing on it as well. They also made a couple of other versions, and actually they did make a two-wheel drive version, and that was the Gallardo Balboni edition. This was, of course, a car designed for the most hardcore of drivers who want, you know, to have that feeling of a real-wheel drive car, and also the additional amount of skill it takes to drive a 500 horsepower rear-wheel drive car as well. I actually have seen a Balboni edition. They didn't make very many of them. In fact, I was at Laguna Seca Raceway in California for the Historics weekend, and the Gallardo pulls into the paddock, and out steps Valentino Balboni. Now, if you don't know who Valentino Balboni is and why they would name a car after him, Balboni was the test driver for Lamborghini for about 30 years. Pretty much every Lamborghini that came out of the factory for 30 years was driven by Valentino Balboni. So there's a lot of people who have a soft spot in their heart for him, and also, of course, the Lamborghini factory and the company have that feeling for him as well. So that's how he got a car named after him. Also, his name is Balboni, which is kind of cool and sounds good for a car name anyway. So anyway, let's go ahead and take a look at this model right now. First of all, the color and the paint on this car is well done. It just looks like a yellow when you look at it up close, but let's see if we can get a little bit closer, and you can see that it's actually a pearl, and they did a good job of replicating that yellow pearl that Lamborghini had for these cars. And so a nice job by Lamborghini, by Maisto to do that. You can see the Superleggera badging on the side there in the stripe. If you don't know what Superleggera means, it means super lightweight, basically, alluding to that drop in weight for the car. Taking a look at the wheels, the Superleggera did have its own wheels, and I do like these wheels a lot. Detail on those is very nice. You can see the calipers in there, but they do not rotate. I mean, the rotors do not rotate with the wheels, neither at the front or the rear. But the detail is pretty nice. Looking at the front, it's a very simple and elegant design. In fact, they upgraded this a little bit later, and they updated it and changed the front bumper out and all that sort of stuff. But I prefer the original design better, just because it's sleek and of course reflects the original designer's intention there, and it's just very elegant, and it's got that really nice wedge shape that alludes to the Countach and so on and so forth. So it really does look good here from the front, and detail on the headlights, of course, looks pretty nice as well. Looking at the rear, again, this is the early rear end, so it has different taillights from the later models, and I do like this better because it is nicely integrated with these slats here that come out of the presumably the wheel wells or something like that, and it's a very well proportioned look for the tail lights there. I pointed out the rear wing. You can see the what's supposed to be mesh here at the back, but it is only textured plastic. Exhaust is okay, but not great. It doesn't really go deep enough to hide the fact that it is, it's only about a quarter of an inch of plastic there or something like that, and then stops. Well, let's go ahead and take a look at the heart of the car, that V10 motor. And again, they did a very nice job on this motor here. You can see the valve covers and the intake boxes and the intake runners, all that sort of stuff. You can see the exhaust in there. Various details that are very nice for a model that probably cost me maybe $15 when I bought it. And I bought this model probably 15 years ago. So again, a very nice looking engine bay. By the way, I guess I should go ahead and open up the front here just so you can see what the front looks like under the hood. Not much to see there, but you can see that well, you do have some luggage space if you're a Gallardo owner. So that's good. Now, honestly, speaking of Gallardo owners, honestly, if I were a person in the market and had the money to buy a Lamborghini, other than, like a classic Lamborghini like a Countach or a Miura, I'd probably choose a Gallardo over pretty much anything else that's out there, just because I like this styling. It has the additional reliability of it being, influenced by Volkswagen Audi, although my mechanic tells me that I should, if I ever bought one, buy a Lamborghini Gallardo built, I believe, after 2008, because the earlier ones have flaky ECUs in them that are actually still Lamborghini ECUs, and finding one of those is finding like a living dodo. They had one sitting in their shop waiting for an ECU for months, and it took them forever to find one. And I think it cost like $3,000 or more for that ECU as well. So get yourself a later one with a Volkswagen ECU in it. Anyway, let's get back to the model itself. We'll take a look at the interior, and this is another high point of the model. Although this is also one of the low points, because take a look at how far these doors open. They hardly open at all, and you're sure not going to be able to get into one in real life with doors that open that much. So that is a problem with this model. But you look at the interior, and you can see detail on there is well done. Also, you can see that the seat is pretty dusty, so I apologize for that. But yeah, the detail on the center console is nice. You can see the carbon fiber texture. You can see the parking brake handle. Of course, nice detail on the steering wheel and the gauge cluster. If you look at it from the other side, you can see that the center console looks very nice, even with a Lamborghini badge in there. And the other high point here is the seats. Don't mind the dust, but you can see that it has decent detail on the seats. You can see that this car has a 5-point harness, and also that it has separate molded belt buckles for the seat belts, so that is good. That's one reason why I like this model, is just that nice interior detail. Well, anyway, that is my review of this car today. I hope you enjoyed this look at the Maisto Lamborghini Gallardo. If so, please go ahead and like and subscribe. Have yourself a great day.